The following is a presentation of TFNN. The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I think I've lost Scott. Hope I'm on, folks. I'm not sure. I saw that the internet went out for a second. Our schedule is we're supposed to have Shane Smolian, wolftrader.net, on this morning. Shane, are you there?
Good morning, Larry. Can you hear me?
Yes, everything's great. Listen, I have two requests from people that have asked questions this morning. One is, are you going to cover the part about the Fed juice?
Yeah, I have quite a lengthy presentation here. If we get through all of it, yeah,
let's go ahead.
That.
You go ahead and fire away. If a question comes up, we'll take it at the break. So go right ahead, Shane, and we'll hear what you have to say. You've certainly been spot on recently, so fire away.
Are the charts up? Are you able to get the charts up?
I think so. Yes, they're posted in Skype.
Okay.
That's what they're telling me. Yes.
Okay. I'm still waiting. I don't see it. Let me see. Let me see if I can see it here. I guess I'll just start talking here. Okay, so in the beginning, what I wanted to talk about, I don't know if I don't see anything yet. But
let me do it. Let me do it my way, the old way. Just give me 1 second here.
Sure.
And I'll get it ready. Well, it doesn't look like I don't think I have them either, so I don't know where. Oh, there we go. I think we're okay here. Let's just do it this way to start off with, and then we'll go here. We'll start. This is the one that's page 1, which is the Fed juice, correct?
Page 1 should be. It should say Wolf Trader. Use Astro Clear Path Plays.
Yep, that's it. We're ready to go. So just tell me when to go to 2, and then I'll go.
Let's start with the first page.
Okay. It should be up. Yep.
What this is. Okay. So what I've recently been doing is I've been combining the Fed juice with the astrology to create what I call a clear path. So anytime the two agree with each other, we get these clear path plays. So these are more like swing trades. So each day I update this and I'll tell you, okay, we have a clear path on this symbol, long, short, or no plays. No plays would mean that maybe there's an astrology bottom or a top, but the Fed juice doesn't agree with it. So when they're both aligned, we call that a clear path. And so last night, what we had was a clear path on gold on the long side, and the short plays were the S&P, the dollar, and the TLT, or the UUP and the TLT. And the oil, there was no play on oil because we have conflicting signals on that. So this is something that's really been working out pretty good. I'm able to give a pretty clear idea of the direction using this. And this is more for, like I said, a swing trade. I don't have strict stops or limits on these. This is more of a general direction saying, hey, if you're interested in one of these markets, this is what I see. This is the agreement. We've been talking about the S&P for a while, that it's been in a lot of trouble. I said before yesterday, I was talking about this, that this is really, really looking dicey here. And one of the telling features yesterday was, we had the dollar collapsing and we had the treasuries collapsing, which is usually very bullish for the S&P. But yesterday, the S&P, it wasn't going up. It was just kind of staying there. And that was almost like an arbitrage opportunity, because it was so obvious that it was ready to go down the minute that the dollar moved up just a little bit. So, we had this short signal for a while on the S&P. And then the GLD yesterday, I said, if you guys are looking to be long something, I think that's probably the best bet right now. That looks the strongest. But again, these can change daily. This is updated every day at the close. This is on Twitter. I update this every day. The newsletter people, I update this once a week. So probably about every Wednesday, middle of the week, I give an update to them. Or I would give an update through an email like I sent out on Monday. I sent like Monday night. I said, look, don't trust this rally. It's not real. We're probably going to go to the downside. I've also put a free Twitter feed just to give information about media appearances and new product information, and that's called Wolf Trader Info, at Wolf Trader Info. That's a Twitter, so you can sign up for that. That's a free Twitter feed that's just there to give information, give up, just basic information. It's not going to give you the market information on a daily basis like the Twitter does, but that's something. Some people like Twitter better than email, so that way you can go there and follow it. It's at Wolf Trader Info. So if you guys want to go there, for just for updates in terms of what's going on with products and media, it's there too. So maybe
ready to go
Sure.
to number 2.
Sure, that would be great.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just a second. Let me get it up here. There we go.
Okay, so this chart right here is it explains how I interpret this Fed juice. So the Fed juice is a signal. Okay, so the Fed has all this activity, and I've figured out how to distill this into a trading signal. So the trading signal is market specific. So the S&P works very nice, but I also have for a bunch of different markets: the UUP, the GLD, the oil, and the TLT. So a lot of times the Fed juice can be split up a little bit, so you can have different phases. It's not always a clear-cut buy or a sell. So sometimes we'll have what we call a clear buy, which is a phase 1 buy, and that's what I would call a visible bull. And that's when the market's moving up and the Fed juice is moving up. Sometimes we'll get a situation where the Fed juice is in a buy, but the market's kind of drifting down, and I will call that a phase 2 or a hidden bear. And then you get into the sell phases, which is phase 3 is a visible bear. That's when the market's declining, and the Fed juice is declining. That's what we're in right now. It's like very clear what's happening. The market's going down, Fed juice is going down, and then phase 4 would be if we had the Fed juice in a sell, but the market is kind of drifting up, and that would be what I would call a hidden bull, and that's what happened after the election. Okay, so the next chart here. This is the actual chart that I would post. I post this every day on Twitter. Most of this is information in the past, so it's not too much future information. But I'm just to give you an idea there. I know it's a lot of information here on the charts, but basically what I do is I put these buy and sell arrows, and these are based upon either the Fed juice, which is the red arrow, the lunar cycles, which are the green arrows, and then the solar cycles are the blue, and any Fed cycles are in black. So on that arrow there where it says A up there, can you see that arrow sloping down that says A?
Yep.
Okay. So that's an example of a clear path. So you can see below at the bottom the Fed juice is in a sell, and then you can see all of those clusters of sell arrows coming in from the cycle side, the astrology and the solar cycles and the lunar cycles. Those are all cycle tops. So when we have the Fed juice going down, and then you have sell after sell after sell after sell after sell after sell coming in like this, it's a very bearish time for the market.
Mm-hmm. We're going to take a little break here, Shane, and we'll be right back with you, okay?
Sure. Thanks, Larry.
Shane Smoyan of wolftrader.net.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, we're back with Shane Smolian, wolftrader.net. Shane, we have a question from one of our listeners.
Sure.
When you're posting these, your buys and sells, do you have a spot there that you alert them where you could possibly be wrong, where the market would, just do the exact opposite of what you're looking at?
If we go back, let's go back to the SPY chart for 1 second. So on these trades, I'm still in the development phase of these specific signals for the swing trades. So these trades are more just general directions. The soonest I would have a change on that would be the end of the market day. So these are best played with options. So for example, if you get wild swings either way, that it's probably the best way to go with that. If we could go up to the SPY real quick, I just wanted to show one more thing on that.
That is the blue chart, correct?
No, the white one we were at, the white.
Oh, the white one. Okay, let's get that one. Sorry about that. Let's get it up here. There we go.
So this is, like I said, everything is an evolution here. So this is, I will be at that phase where I will have the stops and the limits on these. But I have day trades that I post on Twitter. That I post my day trades. Those are hard limits, hard stops, hard. Those are straight futures trades, hard. Mm-hmm. This is more of like a swing trade. So this would have to be at the discretion of the trader. Mm-hmm. If you look there on 629, that's actually a Fed cycle high. So, and we're not even there yet. So I think there's a lot of downside here for this. I still think there's a lot of downside for this market going forward.
Shane, we have another question, and it relates to the comment that Janet Yellen made yesterday that we would not see another financial crisis in our lifetimes. Did you care to comment on that?
Well,
I couldn't believe she said that.
Well, the Fed, okay, so a couple of things on that. I think that definitely highlights the arrogance of the Fed and their belief that they control everything. And to some extent, why wouldn't they be arrogant? Because look at what they've done since 2009. Okay, they've had a very strong influence. They have a reason to be overconfident. But I track what she does. And first thing is, the Fed is notorious for making the exact wrong comment at the exact wrong time. If you look at Bernanke going back to right before the 2008 crisis, he made similar comments. The market is fine, nothing's wrong. So, that's definitely, it's up to them in terms of whether there's going to be another crisis. So I think it's definitely possible, and I think we could have a very major event brewing right now. Okay, if we could go up to gold. Gold was
That is a
Gold was
chart
the gold
number
chart right above it. It's the yellow chart.
yellow. Okay, there we go. We're all ready. Let me get it up here. Everybody at the TFNN has an interest in gold, my friend, so you have our undivided attention.
Okay, so this is, this is these are relatively new developments that I've been able to put the Fed juice on all these other symbols. I have that master signal down there, so I'm able to relate what the Fed is doing to each specific market. It doesn't work for every market, but for these markets, it works pretty well. Now, if you look at those arrows A, B, and C, these are examples of what I would call the clear path. So I'm only looking to give these clear paths when I have the Fed and I have a cycle together. So if you look over on A, you see on the 15th of May, the Fed juice went into a buy, and then and then on the 17th we had the cycle bottom, and so they agreed. So we had that upswing there. And then if you look at B, the Fed juice was already in a buy, so on the 28th we had a cycle low, so you would have bought there and sold on the 6th. You see right there on the 6th, that was the exact top. So sometimes these cycle highs can really pick the turning points, but I really don't care about that unless the Fed juice is with us. So think about the Fed juice like the force. May the force be with you. If the Fed is with you, that's when I care about the cycle tops and the cycle lows. I don't really care because it's in the context of what the market is doing, and the Fed juice is going to tell us what the market is doing. So I really care about that. So right now, like gold, you see right there, the Fed juice is in a buy. We had a cycle low on the 28th. Which is today, and it's in a strong buy profile. I mean, I think it's relatively safe, and that's till July the 3rd right there. That's the next cycle high we would have, and I don't see this Fed juice going into a sell anytime soon. So gold's got a pretty clear path right now. So again, this is up to the discretion of the trader. These are not recommendations. I'm just telling you when the Fed juice is lined with the cycles, you got a clear path. You have a high probability that something is going to happen there. And more times than not, these tend to play out pretty well.
You give your recommendations usually on the Twitter or by email. Is that correct?
Okay, so this is how this works. For every day on Twitter, I post these on Twitter. I post these every day, the live charts and the Fed juice every day. As the Fed juice is coming in, I'm collecting the data. Usually by about 2 or 3 o'clock, if I have like 80% of that data in, I can say, okay, this is the signal. Sometimes it flips around and changes. On the newsletters once a week. So you're not going to get daily updates on the newsletter, but I do give once a week. I give these charts and I give an audio update. I give like a 20-minute audio, somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes where I just talk because, as you can tell, I can ramble on for a long time.
Yeah, it's all good information, though.
Yeah.
So
Go
ahead.
This is and people need to understand, this is a slow process. This is not something, it's layer upon layer upon layer to get this right. I mean, you want to make sure that you get this right. And so that, about the stops and the limits, yeah, I think I'll get to that point. But the problem is that there's so many layers here of complexity with the Fed juice first as the overlaying, and then you put the solar cycle and you put the lunar cycle and you put the Fed in there and the transits. There's a lot of things in there that are going to be are hard to model. So, but the way this works is that the dates are what are important here. Okay, so the dates are what are important, and I can tell you, like right now, gold is in a pretty clear path until the 3rd. Now the Fed juice could go into a sell tonight at the close, and that could not be true, but it looks pretty strong still. It looks like gold, and it's a logical play. I mean, if the markets are in upheaval, gold is a logical play. But that's not always true. I mean, look at yesterday. I mean, the S&P was down. You had the dollar down, you had bonds down, and the S&P went down. That's an illogical play. You would normally think, hey, the dollar should be strong. Hey, people should be going to bonds. So this is why these things can change on the dime. And we're in an environment right now because of Yellen and what she's doing to these markets and the Fed in general. Everything is upside down. I mean, relationships that should mean things don't mean anything anymore. So it's very important to look at each market separately and model them separately. And that's what we do each day. And it's starting to make a lot more sense now when we put this Fed and we put that with the astrology. You really get a much more clear view. And there's not always plays. I mean, there's not always plays. I mean, they're not always going to agree. Sometimes we sit out on the plays. But, right now, these are just some examples of the clear plays.
Well, you're right about the way the markets are acting. I was actually startled the last 2 days when the dollar was getting hit and everything was going the exact opposite way in the interest rate market, which was totally unreal, but it happened.
They were all down
you have
together.
to,
It was,
yeah.
and I think, I was saying that before, that's a warning sign. I mean, that's, when bonds were going up before in the typically if the market was going to rally, you would have thought bonds would have been falling in the few weeks, but they're not. So I think the markets they're kind of, there's a smart trade going on right now, and that it's definitely not with equities. The smart money is going into, probably going to be going into gold and the bonds eventually. So.
Okay, we've got to take a little break here, Shane. We'll come back and we'll talk about crude oil, okay?
Okay.
Shane Smolian of wolftrader.net. We'll be right back, folks. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, with Shane Smolian of wolftrader.net, and we're going to be talking about crude oil. And Shane, this is one of the things that we focused on over the weekend and also on Monday. There was a really strong support at 43, which you certainly pointed that out on June 23rd. Now you're looking. Go ahead, go ahead and do the oil, but you're looking for something on the 29th. That's tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, speaking of oil, this is funny that you say that. So everybody on Twitter, our oil long trade just hit the profit target on the day trade, so it should have Should have been covered on that limit. Hopefully everybody got filled on that. Okay, this is, let's see, economic research. I don't think this is the chart I had. Let's see, Fred, economic. The chart that you have up, I'm not sure what it is.
I have chart 6. It says oil.
I see something that says Fred, economic research.
Fred, economic research. I don't see that one anywhere. No, I show... Nope. All I see is of chart 6. It says oil. That's the one I posted, and it shows us cycle high coming in on the 29th, which is tomorrow.
That's weird. I see something that says Steve Rowe. It says, let's see.
Oh, they have it. They have it at TFNN. Has got it right. So go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay.
TFNN's posted it in the Skype show, so you'll be able to see it. And I'll lose control here, but that's probably a good thing. So go ahead and talk about it, and we'll be fine.
Okay, I just talk about the oil.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, please.
Okay, I can't see it. I'm just going to talk about it blind then. I don't see any charts, but
Well,
I'll talk
why
about
don't we do the Fred chart, because that's the one that we've got up
sure.
in the room.
Okay, so oil. Let me talk about oil. It's just I hope everybody can see the chart. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. I have this dead air time here, but
Well,
yeah,
that happens. We've got.
Okay. So I'll talk about oil. Hopefully everybody can see the charts. I just see a black screen right now. Okay, so oil. I have some examples here of the clear path plays on the oil, and oil's been a really good one. I mean, oil's been it's been in this strong downtrend, and I haven't been able to make any long recommendations on this yet because on this Fed juice, because the Fed juice has been in a sell, still in a sell. So these bounces, and I saw your email this weekend, by the way, and that was a beautiful call. I mean, you called that bottom perfect. I saw that resistance level too, that support level, and it's been coming off. But since the Fed juice is in a sell, I can't take a long. I'm not going to take a long position on it. I would take these little day trades, but as far as a swing trade, I'm not. So on the 23rd, you can see there was a clear bottom on that, and from a lunar cycle standpoint. But the Fed juice was not in a buy, so that would be an example of a position. We just wouldn't take the position for a swing trade because that Fed juice is still just going straight down, and so any bounce here is likely to be muted. On the 29th, now that's the next cycle that's coming up, which is tomorrow. If we are still in a sell on the Fed juice, that would be an example of a shorting opportunity because we would have the solar cycle with the Fed juice, and that would be an example of a place to go short. And so oil has been just really good. I don't know if the people can see these trades, but on the arrows A, B, C, and D, those were what I would call the clear path plays where you had the Fed juice with the cycles, and they really, really came out with some nice outcomes there.
They certainly look good on the chart. You can see it very clearly, the patterns that are there. Now, one other question that one of our listeners from England is asking, how do you, when you do a trade, like say you're doing crude oil, how do you use a stop? Do you use a percentage of the range, or do you use like just a straight 80 pips, 40 pips? What is it that you use for stops?
Okay, so just to clarify, so the swing trades and the day trades, to clarify and separate those two, to parse them out, just to avoid confusion, when I talk about the CL, I'm talking about the oil futures. Those are day trades. Those are very specific trades that are made, and we use something that's called a walk-forward analysis, and we analyze that to the T. I have exact limits and stops to the penny. And to answer his question, on those types of trades, most of the stops and limits are coming from an average true range. In other words, it's going to be based upon the volatility of the market. So I'm not looking at support. I'm not looking at resistance. All I care about is how active has that range been in the past few weeks or days, and that's how I determine. And I have found that is the best way to have stops and limits. And you can go, and I can go across multiple markets with that. So when I run my optimizations, I run an ATR, and I'll say, okay, for this market, here's the ATR for this market, the ATR is for that. They're different for different markets. I have found that is by far the best way to go about this. I don't even look at support and resistance. This is all systematic automated trading. I just trade it a different way than let's say like you do. The way that you trade the Fibonacci's and the supports works excellent. I mean, I looked at that bottom. I couldn't believe that you made that oil bottom. I mean, that was a beautiful call. But the way that my future trades go, it's all automatic, systematic, and we're basing those on an average true range. You can do it on resistance and support. It works great too, but that's just not how I do it, because when I run the data, I can't tell the computer. I can't say, oh, find that support, find that resistance. It just kind of looks for a general range. If the market's really, really active and swinging all around all over the place, I'll have a wider stop and a wider limit. If it's very low volatility, I'll have very narrow limits and stops. Now on the bigger trades, I'll call that the oil, OIL. That's the ETF. So the ETF, that's a different trade. That's the swing trade, and that's the one where I don't have stops and limits on those yet. I just tell you, look, there's a clear path. The Fed juice and the cycles are agreeing, okay? And I think those are best played with options. I mean, that's just my personal opinion on that, because options only work well when you have a clear direction and you're really, really certain about it, and you don't want to be in for a long time, and you think you're going to get a big move, and then you can withstand some of those swings. On the day trades, when I'm talking those day trades, I'm going back to the futures. I'm looking for really, really small ranges. I'm looking for high probability setups. It's a completely different situation. So that's I just want to clarify to separate those two. What I would be looking for here, though, is if we are still going up for rising into the 29th tomorrow, and this Fed juice is still stubbornly in a sell, that's the shorting opportunity on the close on the 29th. And so that's how I read these charts. It's strictly by the date. I'll tell you, okay, at the close today, the Fed juice went into a buy, get out, or whatever it is, or whatever we're doing, or sell, get in, get out, and that's the frequency of these updates. It's up to you to decide, what to do with the stops and the limits. That's your trade. But I think, for that reason, because you can get these swings, you can get a swing against the trade, a wild swing, and then it comes back the next day in your favor. So, like, if you look at Arrow C there, the first day was down, and then the next day was up, and then it just slammed down the next day. So, the option would have been a better play in that situation.
Well, using options, what is your percentage of wins on the option? Because usually only 15% of option plays are profitable. Are you doing somewhere around 40 or 50% profitability on those, or do you keep that record?
Well, okay, so on my records that I keep more focused and specific are the actual futures trades that I do. Those are the ones that are more specific. But the thing about options is, and we'll talk more when we get back, is that as long as you have a clear path, they're the best opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll be right back. Shane Smolian, wolftrader.net.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest live programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 9 hours a day starting at 8 a.m. as John Logan kicks us off each trading day with the Global Market Pulse. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Mondays and Fridays, catch live trading on the Nadex platform with host Tom and Tommy O'Brien, along with Daryl Martin on the Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN, educating investors.
Will interest rates continue to rise? For bold trades on U.S. Treasuries, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade TMF or TMV, Directions Daily 20-plus year bull and bear 3 times ETFs, direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back with Shane Smolian, wolftrader.net. Shane, we're showing the chart with your picture on the insert where we're talking about the stock market. Is that the one you're looking at during the May, July?
Sure. And just to go back real quick about the options thing, the reason I said options on that, and keep in mind this swing trades are relatively new, okay, relatively new development. So this is just information I'm putting together. The futures trades are much more of an established thing. The reason is that those commodities can go crazy overnight, and so if you're trading futures on those and you're holding overnight, you can get into big trouble. So that's why I think the option would just limit your risk. So that's why I was just saying that you could do it with futures if you wanted to, if you could handle the risk. It's just that's why I was saying that about the options. So I'm much more of a futures trader than I am an options trader. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the chart that you're at here is. Okay, hopefully the people can see it. This is a chart. Now, this is from a video that I made, and this is going back to 2010. And on the chart, you should see it says A, B, and C here. This is important to look at because one of the reasons I've turned so bearish on the market is because Yellen is talking about cutting the balance sheet. Now, why is that a big deal? Because this is where they draw their energy from for the Fed juice. And so a lot of people don't realize this, but she's still been accumulating that balance sheet. It's still been increasing. So for whatever reason, maybe the mortgage-backed securities are expiring and she's repurchasing them, or they're just not reporting it, but they are purchasing about $400 billion every year. So in essence, they're still adding $1 trillion more or less every couple of years to the balance sheet. And that's the effect. That's the net effect, okay, or the gross effect. So they've never really cut back. So when did they cut back? Well, they cut back in 2010. This is the only time they tried. So Bernanke tried. On that chart, you can see A and B. So at B, on that chart, you can see he starts pulling back on the juice, and the market was at a high. So he was like, well, I'm going to start selling these off now. He's like, it worked. It's over. The crisis is over. I'm going to sell. And the minute he did that, the market immediately fell. And it fell very hard. And I remember that summer very clearly. There was a head and shoulders pattern. Everyone was expecting it to decline. And then right at point C, Bernanke was like, JK, just kidding. Next QE's coming. And by the way, I'm putting my foot on the gas. And here comes all the juice again. You can see in the bottom the juice exploding up. And again, that bottom chart there is not the market, guys. That's what the Fed is doing. That has nothing to do with the market. That's not an oscillator. It's not linked to the market. And so it's very important to understand that every time the Fed has even pulled back on the juice, the market goes down, let alone trim the balance sheet. So if that happens, if they really do that, which I'm not sure that she's going to do it, but if they really do that, then you're going to be looking at a very, very powerful sell-off. I mean, it's going to take people by surprise. And I really think, I think I price the market in terms of this Fed juice. Like if you price the market in terms of dollars or the euro, I've priced it. I've figured out what it was at that point, what it is now. It's right around 600, the S&P. That's the price. So if they really start cutting this balance sheet, then you're going to see selling a very strong wave of selling, and it would not surprise me at all to see that S&P back down to those 2009 levels within just a few months. I mean, it's a mathematical certainty. I mean,
Whoa! Time out now. Repeat that again. You think it could go all the way back to the 2009 low?
It's a mathematical certainty. If they cut the balance sheet, that's a big if. I don't know if they're going to do it. I track what they're doing. I track their data. This is not a theory or conspiracy theory. I'm not saying, oh, I think. I'm telling you what's happened. I'm looking at the data. I'm telling you this is what's happened in the past when they did this. This is where the Fed juice is now. This is when it rolls over. And if they cut that balance sheet, there's going to be there's nothing there. This has all been a Fed inflated rally. And I have data and statistics to back this up. I'm looking at data. I'm not just making a wild claim. I mean, I know you go on the internet, you go on Google, and every year there's someone that says there's a market going to melt down, or this is the year and it's all going to collapse and the end of the world and apocalypse. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying based upon the data that I'm looking at and based upon the history of the market and the Fed, this is what has happened every time, and it will happen again. It's a certainty. It is a certainty if she does it. Now that's a big if, and that's the big question. I got another Fed juice chart down here. I don't know if you can see it, the one that's black.
Sure. I'll put that up right now. That's chart number 8. Let's get this up and we'll be ready to go here. Hold on one second. And whoops, not quite yet. Hold on. There it is.
All right, so this chart is really, really interesting. This is from 2015 to 2016, 2017. So if you look on the chart over on the left, you see where it says SPY and recent Fed juice. Now, the letter A, this is super interesting. We had that waterfall event in August of 2015. If you look at the Fed juice, look how small the Fed juice was down there. It was barely up there, okay? And they pulled back on the juice just a little bit and the market collapsed. Then they started to really, really ramp it up into B, into level B there, you can see. And then they said, okay, we're going to pull back again. And look what happened. You had another waterfall event. So I think at that point, they said, okay, level A didn't work. Level B didn't work. We're going to have to double our output, which is effectively what they did in a year. So from C to D to E, you saw that huge influx of money. Now, this was before the election. And this was, before, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton election. So at level E, there was a top there, and it started. You see the Fed, you start falling, and the market immediately started falling. Now it spiked up between E and F when the Comey memo came out, said they're not going to investigate Hillary, and the market has been going up ever since. But if you look at the level of the Fed juice right now, it's at these incredibly high levels, and if she comes down even a little bit, you're going to start to see some heavy selling pressure. Now, if she does cut this balance sheet, you're probably going to see those levels come back down to that A or B level very quickly. And if that happens, you're going to have a market that's going to just be going straight down. There's nothing there to support it. Now, I have those lines there. Each of those lines represents a Fed cycle. So we're at a high right now on H right there. We're at a high on a cycle. I've taken all of the data and I've made cycles, like astrology cycles. So like the sun and the moon, I put all these in. We're at a cycle high right now, and you can see it's matching the actual data. Do you see the data right there? This is real Fed data on H. We're at a high. So that combined with all the other sell signals and the Fed juice signal is why I'm saying we're in a very bearish situation right now, and this could go on for the majority of the summer. And if she follows what she's been doing, and they start to they pull off on the juice right now, which is what they've done. This is the historical pattern, and it comes down for the next month or two. You're gonna see a definite sell-off here, at least in the next month or two. And if things go wrong in Washington with the Donald Trump situation, the investigation, you could get a much deeper problem here. Mm-hmm. But you can see why Yellen said that. I mean, look at the power that she has. I mean, I mean, I could see why she would say there's never going to be another crisis again, because look, she literally is controlling this thing behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. I mean, wow. This has been. Look, I've traded this ES for years, and it is in recent years. It is a very difficult market to trade. It's very difficult to short, and I tell people this. I say, look, we've got this sell signal here, but it'll bounce quickly when the Fed comes in.
Okay, we're going to stay with us. We have a chart on Donald Trump coming up next. Shane Smolian, wolftrader.net, 877-927-6648.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, with Shane Smolian, wolftrader.net. And if you're not getting the charts, folks, just drop me an email, Larry Pesavento at gmail.com, and I'll forward you the charts that we used this morning. We're trying to do our best, but we've got the chart of Donald Trump up for July the 7th. You want to discuss this, Shane?
Sure. So this is, okay, so the reason why this is important is that so Donald Trump is going through a Saturn opposition, which is very interesting because usually Saturn oppositions, it's what we call a hard aspect in astrology. So you have, it's a fourth harmonic aspect. You have conjunctions, you have, waxing squares, opposition, waning squares. Saturn as the opposition is usually like you're going in front of a judge, you're going in front of somebody, and the judge is usually not ruling in your favor. It's tough to deal with. So he's got this special prosecutor out there, and on the 7th, the Saturn makes this opposition, and there's all of these other aspects in his chart. And then throughout the summer, he has just some really tough stuff. On the 29th of August, he has a Saturn-Neptune opposition with the Sun on the solar arc. And these are all tough. These are tough aspects. So, it's I don't know what's going to happen this summer, but it's definitely showing in his chart that there's an opposition. The Saturn is probably the special prosecutor looking into him, looking into, any obstruction causes. And we all know that special prosecutors tend to find things, even when they're not there. They tend to find cover-ups to things, and they tend to blow them up. I mean, the Bill Clinton thing was a perfect example. They weren't even investigating the Lewinsky thing, and all of a sudden it came up, and, there he goes. They're going with the impeachment. So I think this is important to watch, especially with the markets, because declining markets tend to bring bad news. Okay, so if we do get a declining market, I think there's a good chance it could involve something with Donald Trump. I don't know, and then we've got this healthcare vote coming up, so I don't think it's not necessarily an auspicious chart for his summer. There's some struggles here, and so it goes on. We have this on the 7th of July, and anyway, so if you want to check it out at Wolf Trader Info on Twitter. And I put some product updates there. You can see the different things in the newsletter and the Twitter.
Thanks a lot, Shane. We enjoy having you on. We'll have you on again soon. Shane Smolian, wolftrader.net.
Okay, guys.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.